All right, what we got here, I got some apple seeds from one of the trees on my property up north. And today is February 11th, 2020. And I took a piece of paper towel, I wet it. I'm going to stick it in this Tupperware container here. And last year, this is how I did this, and it worked out great. I know I've seen other things saying you shouldn't use paper towel, that you should use like peat moss or sawdust or stuff along that lines. But last year, this worked out pretty darn good for me. So I'm going to try it again. I kind of separate them up a little bit here. Ooh, one stubborn one. There, they're all in there. Okay, and then I kind of just bunch them up like that. Press it down. And basically all I did is stick the paper towel under the faucet, get it wet, squeeze it till the water didn't run out of it anymore. And now I put the seeds in, and we'll see how long it takes them to germinate. All right. I'm back here. I started these seeds on February 11th. It is now March 16th, and I want to show you what they kind of look like here. Not focusing the best, but this is what we're looking for. And these are the apple seeds. Basically what I'm doing is I got one of these little Jiffy greenhouses, and I have them I put them in this little Tupperware container. I took them out of the fridge about a week ago, and then when I noticed one started sprouting, and then a bunch sprouted. So right now I currently have, let's see, 6. I got 24, 25, 26, 27 planted, and I'm going to plant a couple more here. All I do basically is, once I see they're rooting out like that, I just put a little divot in, and then I take them and I just prop them in there, and then I cover them up. And the ones that aren't sprouted, I'll put back in my little container and wait. Hopefully they'll sprout. These are some maple seeds. I did these around the same time. I'd pick these in the fall. And those I took and I put in a little baggie with, and I did the same stratification. I put them in a little baggie, put them in the fridge, and I'm not having near as much luck as I had last year with them. But as they're starting to get a little sprout coming on them, I'm sticking them in, and right now I only have 12 planted. But now the snow is melting outside, and I'm getting access to more laying on the ground, and they're naturally stratified because they've been sitting outside. So then from that, what I'll show you is what I got going with some acorns here. Let me put these back in. And basically I'm just getting the seeds in there. I kind of tuck them in, and that's a wet paper towel. Tuck them down in there. And I put the cap on. Okay. So what we got going here, and I got a couple planted already of these. But I suppose I could cover these up. And last year I did it with store-bought apples. These apples are off of the property up north, these seeds. And last year we had, man, I'd bet we had 80% sprout. And we planted quite a few of them. So here are acorns. We picked these out of the woods and threw them in. I got a few maple samurais, or is that what you call them? It's floating around in here too. But basically what you're looking for with these, like here's one. And once I see them like this, before I was using these Coca-Cola cups and sticking them in, but now I got some little Jiffy pots, and I'm going to stick them in them Jiffy pots and just wet them down. And, you know, basically I'm just going to stick them in like that, cover them up. And I was going to go through and see how many I got starting to crack already, and then I was going to rewrap them because I don't have the best wrap going on. See, there's got to be a couple more. See, here's another one. And last year we had fantastic luck with this too. I mean, it's a nice, cheap, easy way to sprout some trees. And these two went in the freezer, or sat in the back of the fridge from in February until now. It's March 16th, and I want to say, let's see, I wrote it down just to double check. So February 11th, and before February 11th, all I did is I had them sitting downstairs in a Ziploc bag. I probably, looking back on it now, I almost think I should have put them in the fridge earlier and wet them down. But my goal this year, because last year they were getting too tall, we put them in and we had little trees growing, and it was January already. And then that ended up being, we had apple trees that were like 3 feet high and bigger, and we had a ton of them, and it was taking up way too much space. And then these little oaks, we had some that were 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and the leaves got so big, and it just made it so much harder. Where this year I was hoping to plant them a little later, and then hopefully after frost is passed, I can get out there and stick these in the ground and hopefully have enough of them so the deer can't get them all, and hopefully not run into any issues with that. But I just wanted to give a little update to see where we're at, show you how long this stuff takes, and I'll probably do more frequent updates so we can see the pace at which they're growing. All right, thanks. All right, it's April 9th. We're looking at about 58 days into this project. Here's just a short, quick update. And I may actually just turn this into the video and put it out there so I can upload something, because I haven't uploaded in a while. But what I've got is, like I said, this is 58 days, and that's 58 days from the time I took the seeds and put them in wet paper towel to what you're seeing here. We got a mixture. This is a little apple tree. We got a little maple here. And we got our little oaks popping out of some acorns over here. Now, I have a ton more, but I have them all downstairs, and I got them under bigger grow lights, and I always just keep some upstairs to kind of watch these, and lets me know when I should go downstairs to water the other ones, because sometimes I got the lights on a timer and sometimes I forget about them. So basically we're trying these cups to see if it works, and some of them it's not worked at all. It's retaining too much moisture. And I have holes poked in the bottom of these cups for drainage. But some of them, I don't know if the top soil's getting packed too tight or whatnot, but they're retaining too much moisture. And I've lost a couple trees. But we don't really have much invested in them, so if anything, it's just chalk that up to a learning experience. But for other ones, it's working fine. I mean, obviously these, it seems to be working. We got one over here. It's holding maybe a little too much moisture on that one. But we'll see. I just won't maybe water him next time when I water the other ones. What else can I say? The cardboard looking Jiffy pots that I tried, that'll be linked into this video, or ahead of this little section of this video. They didn't work. Not for the acorn ones, because on the oaks, the root was getting way too big, and it was blowing out the bottom of the pot. I think those would have worked, and now I know, for maples or apples, because my thought was then I could just easily just go dig a little hole and plug the whole pot in the ground and be good to go. But it didn't work for the oaks because the root was too strong and it was blowing out the bottom of the pot. So those I ended up transferring into, gosh, I want to say they're like a gallon. They're big, they're pretty big little planting pots. I got them off of Amazon. And you'll probably see them because I'll do an update video in June when I take these out to the woods to plant them. And then you'll see how big they got over that time frame. I'm not sure if my strategy worked yet. Time will tell on that, because my strategy was I wanted to keep these small enough to where they were easier to handle at home. Because last year, planting back in January, the trees got so big it became a nightmare dealing with moving the grow lights. Because the apple trees literally, man, they were growing like crazy. They shot up to like 3 feet tall. And when you had like 100 plus of them, it started to get kind of rough moving them around and dealing with the lights. And the oaks, they didn't necessarily get that much taller. I mean, I would say last year they probably got about maybe a foot tall, 1.5 feet tall. But then they got these huge leaves on them. And that took up a ton of space too, because we had to kind of space them out. So time will tell this year if I planted too late, or if I got it just right, or if I should plant even later next year. So we can time this right to make it the easiest where we still have good survival rates. Well, and that's about all I can think of to say about this. So here's what we're looking at 58 days in.